right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Saturday night. It's Brandon and I. Here we are, episode 47. Sorry, it took me a minute to get everything going. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 47. There's Brandon. What's the name of this episode? Lose with Integrity.
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound fun?
What was it? Joey said, it sounds like my Little League baseball career. I like it.
So much taught in youth sports.
Learned how to lose, that's for sure.
Learning how to lose with integrity. If only most of the elected officials and candidates that we had now could do the same thing. If only if only they had played youth sports.
If only.
Well, Brandon, how you doing? Welcome.
I'm doing super. Got myself a beer. Got a little fired up earlier today.
Yeah.
I started messaging you guys, and then Kate was like, "Shit, you should probably come on." And
I love it. Yeah, I love
that rant. Now I gotta listen to my messages again to see what I was ranting about.
I know. That's what I was gonna say. Is like we ought to just play the messages. They would.
There's a lot of profanity in it. I don't know if I want that much profanity. We gotta wait a minute so we don't get demonetized before we play this.
Yes.
Good Lord.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, I'm back, fired up, ready to something.
By sewing on different colored sleeves to the team shirts. That's hilarious.
Come on, Grandma.
That's hilarious. Essentially turning you into a traitor. You want to talk about a grandmother doing a kid dirty? Well, let's talk about that. I don't know. I think mine's watching. So for the viewers of this show, I mean, I'm sure it was done with love, but you know there's a problem already when this is going on. For the viewers of this show that know, when I get my hairs cut, and I'm in need of a haircut now, but I happen to have these massive ears. Massive ears. If you want to see, we can look here. This will give you a good example. Yeah, you got some ears on you too, Brandon.
You know what they say.
Yeah, right.
Can hear better.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've got some. Let's see. I don't know if it's in this, but yeah, I've got some massive ears on me. Well, there is a story that floats around in my family that my ears must have been so big.
How big were they?
They were so big. My grandmother got skin tape and taped my ears back because I had this habit, and sometimes I'll catch myself doing it now. When I was little and laying down, I wouldn't lay on the pillow like this. I would lay on the pillow like this, folding my ear back. So, like, when I was a little kid, my ears stuck out like this.
That's awesome.
Oh, God. So,
you taped your ears back?
Yeah, taped my ears back. You know, she was trying to help me out. It is what it is.
Very helpful.
So we see Brandon there is drinking. He's got his beer of the evening.
Okay, I got a picture of the label so I could show it to Kate. I told her before the show I was going to show her.
Yeah,
that's what I'm drinking.
Oh my God!
I told you it was like badass, like Lord of the Rings looking stuff.
Yeah, this is like a Viking Dark Lord beer. Man, what percentage is that?
15%.
What is it? I don't know the rest of it.
Alcohol
by volume. Is it what it is?
Yeah, alcohol by volume, 15% by volume.
You can tell I'm a lush.
It's a bomber, so like 16.9 ounces, I think.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something like
that. Good. I thought you were just drinking like Coke in a cup.
Sure. That is what I'm drinking. I wouldn't drink alcohol.
Oh, yes.
I'm a good kid. I'm a good guy. Not one of those evils.
That's hilarious. So, well, good. animated booze. So I in the description of this episode, I posted and said there's always a turning point. This is my interpretation, and then I can't wait to hear yours. This is how I interpreted it without talking to you really much more than listening to your things. But and this is always the true with every there's always a turning point in each election cycle, I believe, where the candidates have been telling everybody, "Oh, I'm for communication and I'm for transparency and I'm for making everything better." But there's always a point in the election cycle. I think it's when everybody gets so burnt out when the finish line is just up ahead and they just can't seem to carry it over the line where the true colors kind of start to emerge.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, that time has come, I believe, in the 2023 municipal election cycle. And I think that we're starting to see people revealing themselves for who they truly are. And that's what we want to talk about because it is important, in my opinion, and I'll be interested to hear Brandon's interpretation on this. It is important that if you are going to lose the race, that you do so with integrity, because hell, if you can't lose with integrity, you probably were never going to win with integrity. And so if you're doing everything to win, what was it I sent you? I sent you and Kate early for the biblical scholars here.
Yeah.
I pulled out a little digging deep into the Bible, pulled out a little Luke 9:25 for what profit is it of a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul. And I feel like that's very true for so many candidates, because it's like, they do so much to try to win, and there's so many people in the parties and whatnot that they're trying to appease, that it's like we'll just throw everything at it and the kitchen sink. And at the end of the day, if we win, good, and if we lose, it's like they don't realize that people still are out here and we're looking at them. We're like, man, you did all of this, and for what?
Yeah. Why? What was it all for?
Yeah. So I'll let you take over from here.
Well, so I'm trying to remember where my rant even started. So that's where I need to begin. But essentially, how I don't know if everyone has the same thing, but when I'm like half asleep, like when I'm waking up in the morning or like when I'm falling asleep, I feel like my mind is not as clouded with distractions. So I feel like I come up with like the best shit. Like I write songs and stuff in that state, and I don't write it down sometimes, and it pisses me off. So I'm like, man, I had a really good tune in my head, or a really good like story or whatever it is that I'm getting creative with. And that's what it was this morning. And like I woke up briefly and saw something you had sent, and then like I just went off on like a rant. And it was essentially about like how the Republican Party in Indiana, for as much power as they have, are such cowards. It's disgusting. It's like, how are you the most powerful party yet the most cowardly? So, for example, it's like in this last election, when Josh and I went to that event where they invited all the representative candidates to come to Minnetrista and speak, and they specifically told their candidates, like, don't go, it's a trap. It's a trap. They're going to ask you questions, and you're going to be such idiots that you can't competently answer them. You're going to look like a moron.
Yeah.
Like, let them answer them. You guys are the big party in town. You're the geniuses. You're brilliant. Go out there and tell us what your ideas are.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, and how's it a trap? Like, say it's coming in as like a liberal slant, right? And they're going to bring them in there and ask them things that make them look, what are they going to do? Ask them things that make them look conservative?
Yeah, right. Yeah, shouldn't they be happy to show themselves off as the conservative bastion against the liberal onslaught?
Yeah, what are they going to do? Look, see, we told you that they were pro-life and pro
Second Amendment,
private school, pro Second Amendment. We told you. It's like, yeah, isn't that the message you guys are trying to get out anyway? Like, what's the big argument?
Right.
And I guess the one thing that they're good at is their stupid. Let's not call it stupid. It's their whole family thing. Like, we're the family, because they are good at sticking together, I guess, and having a united front against transparency and, I guess, doing the right thing. At least they're united in that.
Yeah, you were using the wrong adjective. It's not stupid. It's criminal seeming. You know, when I think of the family, I think of the mob. I think of mafia. I think of corrupt organizations that stick together and circle the wagons the way that they do. That's the thoughts that come to my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I go as far as criminal, but it does sound very mob-like. I mean,
right.
Like, we're the family. You turned against the family. Now you're dead to us. You know.
Yeah, you don't ever speak ill of a family member to anyone outside the family.
You'll be sleeping with the political fishes.
Yeah, right, right. Yeah, that's very true. You know, that's Reagan's 11th commandment. You know, thou shalt not speak ill of another Republican. That's very much, you know, don't share your thoughts outside of the family. You know, very, very much. And it's. I just had a conversation with an elected official today, running for office, and I was like, you know what that 11th commandment does? That 11th commandment is what causes police officers to stand there and watch a fellow police officer beat a suspect while in handcuffs. It's what allows, it's what allows fellow preachers to hide other preachers who have molested children. It's, it's what allows people that know someone's stealing money from the company to continue stealing money from the company without saying anything. When we can't report or point out the flaws of our own people, how dare us think that we have any right to point out the flaws of the opposite side?
Yeah, and it's the straight up team sport thing of it all. I mean, it's as simple as you're watching a game and they're doing the replay and you see the person's clearly out of bounds, but it's your team, so you're like, no, they weren't really out of bounds. Yeah. It's like, dude, they were out of bounds. Let's move on with the game. Let's, know, it is what it is. And it's the same crap, and I'm going to bring it back up, Ian, because it has always annoyed me. It's like it's like whenever they do anything wrong, like look at Jim Lucas. I'll bring him back up. For anyone who doesn't remember, he's a representative in Indiana who was drunk driving, high on weed, drunk, middle of the night, hits a guardrail, like shreds the side of his truck, decides to try to hide it behind a business and walk home so he doesn't get in trouble. Gets caught by the police walking home. They find the vehicle, and the whole thing kind of just turned into nothing. He got what was it? He got
diversion.
Yeah, he had to do counseling or some crap. Yeah. And people were like thrilled because he came out and goes, you know what? I got drunk. Everyone makes mistakes. And everybody's like, you're great. You're the best. We forgive you. Everyone needs to get over it. Stop judging you. And I agree 100% that everybody makes mistakes. Like, I've not made that mistake.
Well, sure.
But I think the biggest problem of it is that his mistake was drunk driving. His conscious effort to hide the crime and to try to not deal with it is what is kind of gross to me.
The bigger issue.
It's the bigger issue to me, and the fact that the party doesn't care. And he's like, well, I clearly need help. It's like, well, then maybe you should take time and get help. I agree with that. Maybe that involves you stepping aside, but that's never, when it's someone in power, that's never their motivate. That's never their decision. It's never, oh, I'm in trouble. I'm screwing up. I'm not doing a job. I'm not being a good example to my community. Maybe I need to step aside and focus on myself and let someone else step in, because I'm not speaking of him specifically in this example, but in general. And then it's never lose with integrity. It's never, you know what? I need to step aside. I can't handle this position anymore. I should let someone else do it. I'm going to have the integrity in the moral compass to say, you know what? I need to let someone else do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of an example of what I'm talking about. Kind of an example of the losing with integrity that I'm talking about. That wasn't the main focus, but I'm curious your thoughts on that, I guess.
No, I mean that's really true. We hear all these these elected officials who care so much about the community, and they do all this, and everyone's like, yes, but you're leading us astray. If you really cared for us, well, let's just give a real quick recent example, and that example is John Sproles. Okay. um Sproles is a person who was elected. He was duly elected, elected with the with a mandate of a majority of the county being 9,000 people out of 49,000 people. So, I don't, his math might be a little off there. And of that 9,000 people, only 4,000 people actually cast the vote for him. The rest were straight party ticket. So they could have very well been just voting for Corey Criswell, or they could have been voting Joe Wiley, and he just happened to get the plug because he was the almighty R, and so that's just, he rode the coattails down. But what's so strange to me is the fact that, he is supposed to be someone who loves his department, loves his guys, loves the rule of law. He has to know one of two things. He is either, and I'm not a mental health counselor. I have no training I went to school for psychology, but I have no advanced training. I cannot diagnose anybody. But he either has to know
your DSM.
Yeah, right. I got one around here. He either has to know that he is a screw up and that he's making just an enormous ass of himself, or if not, he has to have some kind of disorder that is blocking him from seeing that. So the fact that it's like in movies and in relationships where you'll hear someone say, if you love me, you would let me go. You know what I mean? And the person's like, I cannot do that. I will not, and so that's kind of like one of these things. These people say they love these, love the communities or the organizations that they serve, but they don't love them enough to step down if they're the ones hurting it. And so it's that whole thing of they're not going to do the right thing if the right thing takes them out of that power. And then that comes to the other side when their candidates running, all of the things that they will do to jump through all of these horses, and what all they will do, sell their political soul, and some of them just their soul to be in the position to be the winner. And then it's like, well, like what truly, is going on here? But it's just really, really sad to me when you see people that you've thought like this person had a chance. This person really could have been one of the good people, and yet they're doing things that just speak contrary to that. It's really, really, really frustrating.
Well, and that's kind of what got me fired up in the beginning, is because it's the party has so much control over all these candidates, and they have way too much control over the elections in general.
Yeah.
And so they get a hold of these candidates and they start telling them, oh, well, don't go do these public events. I mean, we can't have you saying something stupid or getting caught. And it's like, no, they need to talk to the people. They work for the people. They don't work for the party.
Right.
Like the party is ridiculous. And they're telling them, well, you don't want to speak to anyone. And that's what's really freaking frustrating to me. And that's my whole thing. It's you should be able to tell the party, no, I think I'll go ahead and do it. And some candidates will do that, and it'll piss the party off. And then the party will start supporting their opponents and doing weird backwards stuff, which again is frustrating. And dude, it just makes me so mad. And the party circles the wagons. Like, you see crap like you kind of need to suck up, because if you see like J.D. Prescott's stupid family picnic. They make all these other candidates sell their souls and go suck up to J.D. at his mommy's picnic, and it's really not a good look. Like Suzanne Crouch going out there, of course. JD endorsed her, and she gave his campaign money. It's all quite incestuous. But the point is, if you want to be in that cool kids club where they're all sharing money and supporting each other, you have to do exactly what you're told, not what the people want you to do. And it's really pretty gross.
Yeah, absolutely. Answers are coming from three. The answers are not coming for. The answers are not coming for or from 301 West Main or 214 North 1. The thing that bothers me here is this. And I didn't know if I was going to actually do this or not, but I'm there's no point in waiting, so we might as well do it. Well, I'm specifically fired up from. That's what I thought you were saying there. Andrew. So I'm in the middle of doing these. Candidate interviews and whatnot, and I've told everybody that they have essentially until Tuesday, basically the same as the early voting deadline. So I've given everybody, the Republicans, the Democrats that I've reached out to and done all this, I've given them until the end of voters registration, so 11:59 on Tuesday, to do one of two things, a couple things. To either have already interviewed with me, because some of them have already interviewed, to set up an interview in the future, or to tell me no. So they have those time periods. They have those time periods to do that. And so what I'm doing is I am giving them that time period. And most of these people, okay, when I ask Dan Ridenauer or I ask Belinda Munson, hey, do you want to interview? And Belinda Munson either doesn't respond, or she says, no, why would I want to interview with you? I'm like, okay, cool. Like, that's exactly the answer I thought that I would get from a cardboard box that doesn't care about interviewing with the public, because at the end of the day, and I can't convince a couple idiots of this, these interviews are not for me. When a candidate that I don't truly care about, when that candidate refuses to interview and refuses to talk to the public, that doesn't surprise me, because that's just the same thing that they've been running on.
You're waiting until Tuesday to put anyone on blast, correct?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I mean, most of them, but the whole point that this happened was because a candidate that I have supported this entire time, who has told me that they would interview, has told me that they care about the public, has told me that they care about putting their word out there and speaking to all of the people. I have asked, and I have been asking these people, and I want to be really honest. People give Andrew Pop a bunch of crap, but Andrew Pop chased me down to interview. And it's not because he was like, Kristopher is the end all be all, the political spotlight is the end all be all. It's not like that. Andrew Pop chased me down because he understands the importance of hard work and not running under the radar in the shadows.
Andrew he aggressively campaigns.
Yeah. You know what? And here's the deal. He might lose, but it's not going to be for lack of trying. It's not going to be for lack of campaigning. He might lose because he that's just how it works. He's running in a campaign where the incumbent has always won in this race, where the seat has always been held by a Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But he has worked his ass off.
Yeah, there's no way that he should ever look back and be like, oh man, I should have done more.
He will have no regrets. He should have no regrets. And there will be people that will give him a hard time for stuff. And I'm not saying I agree with everything Andrew's done. Andrew and I have had arguments and fights in the past. There have been things that I dislike. I'm sure that there's things that he dislikes that I do, but he works his butt off, and he'll talk to anybody that will listen to him.
Yep.
That's the way it is. Those are the candidates that people need to pay attention to. The candidates that go out of their way to hide, you also need to be paying attention to those candidates.
Oh, like the ones who call the police because you show up with a camera at a public event?
Yeah, right. Like J.D. Prescott, who literally for 3 weeks, maybe a month, pushed a public invitation to come to a property that was a private property, and he put it on social media. He passed out flyers at campaign events that he went to.
They weren't even campaign events. They were like just public, like legislative updates and shit.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Legislative updates. The Tea Party event. He was just putting flyers on tables and letting anybody. I mean, that was the Kennedy Library. Josh could have went there and picked one up. I could have picked one up from there and passed it off to Josh. Josh could have got on social media, where social media showed, hey, come out to our 6th annual. Everyone's invited. Bring the whole family. And Josh did that. And then this person who's running for office in 2024 called the police on him.
Kicked him and trespassed his daughter.
Kicked him and his daughter out of the event. Kicked them out of the event. Well,
and then all these other candidates who were there supporting him, what did they have to say about it?
Yeah, right. What did Todd Rokita say? No, you probably shouldn't do this. The lady that's running for lieutenant governor,
Suzanne Crouch,
Silent Susan, Smelly Cat, Phoebe, she probably should have said, hey, wait a minute, I want this man and his daughter to be able to hear my message. She's running for governor. But no, they stand idly by as they kick a citizen out with a camera. And then go through the process of trying to have this guy charged. It is total insanity what's going on there. Well, anyone that's watched this show since last year will know there are 7 candidates running for 3 at-large positions. We have 3 at-large positions. 1, 2, 3. The top 3 vote getters will get it. There are 7 people running. 3 Republicans, 3 Democrats, and a Libertarian. And everybody knows that those 3 candidates are Aaron Clark, Dale Basham, and Rose Selvey. Aaron Clark and Rose Selvey are the incumbents. Dale Basham's the 3rd Republican. The 3 Democrats are Audie Barber, Holly Yipe, and McIntosh. I forget his first name. William McIntosh, and the Libertarian is Steve Smith. Now, everyone knows from the beginning of forever, I've said I want one of those positions to go to Audie Barber. I now have 6 other people that I need to pick for 2 spots. I've said I want one of those positions to go to Rose Selvey. I now have 5 other people that I need to jam into one spot. And I haven't really made my mind up on who that last person is. Well, I have a list of all these candidates that I've asked. And since the beginning of this year, I've assumed, like the rest of my team and everyone else, that Rose Selvey would be one of these people to interview. And I have been asking her for a couple weeks. And the first time I asked her, and she was like, okay, let me get back to my team. I'll find out. I'll let you know if, what my thoughts are. And I will let you know. And I was like, okay, cool. So, a week went by and I said, hey, Ro, what are we going to do here? And she's like, oh, I've not asked the girls yet. And I was like, okay, cool.
Both are true, Joey.
I've been doing that. I've been doing it. And finally, it come to a head. And I said, I finally said, listen, I'm not going to ask you again. As a host, I shouldn't be doing this. As a host, I should not need to do this. So as a host, I'm done doing this. Now, I left her alone. As her friend, and for those people out there, maybe you don't know this, because I have a lot of people in my life where our friendship is hidden. And so a lot of people, what that means to a lot of people is it's fake, which it's not fake to me, because I understand, because of politics and what I do, not everybody likes to keep my friendship out in the public. And I'm okay with that. It's no secret that Ro and I are friends. It's no, yeah, you're right. They're not incumbents. That is true. You're right about that.
That's a fair point. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
That is a fair point. She is not technically an incumbent, because she was caucused. So you're technically right about that, Andrew. I used to really go hard with that, but I just sometimes Ro's been there long enough that I kind of forget that sometimes, honestly. So, but you are right. Seat holder is probably the best, or caucus appointed is appropriate. You're right. So last night I said, Ro, I'm asking you again as your friend, because I want you to do the right thing. And I feel, because it's no secret, the party right now is not favorable to Ro Selby. The party has not been pushing Ro. The party doesn't want Ro to win. Ro has been a candidate on her own. And I've said I wanted Ro to win. Well, last night I reached out and she was like, I haven't asked the girls yet. And I was like, listen, you're afraid of something. What are you afraid of? And she was like, I'm not, because Ro has a very tough guy character and puts on this thing. And she was like, I'm just trying to finish. I keep hearing the same thing from Republicans. I'm in the shadows. I'm under the radar. And that's so weird, because that's not how you are to run a campaign. You don't run a campaign from the shadows. I was just talking, someone that we both know, Brandon, who ran in a couple in 2022. It has a position where their job, they get periods off work. And it was like every time they had a period off work, they weren't like, okay, it's time to rest. They were like, all right, I've got 3 hours off work. I'm going campaigning. I've got the next week off work. I'm going campaigning. And they busted their ass every way they could. A lot of these people are like, okay, it's a 3-day period. I'm going on vacation. And I'm like, no, that's not how you win an election. So last night, Ro Selby finally told me once and for all, the big reveal, she is not going to interview. And I called her and I was like, Ro, you're making a bad decision here. I'm just letting you know. I'm not calling you as the host, because as the host of the show, I'm done with you host wise. I'm talking to you as your friend. I think you're making a bad decision. I even went as far, and Brandon and I talked about this, I offered her to interview with Brandon. If I'm too polarizing and people will say, oh, Bilbrey's no good, blah, 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 whatever, I said, well, Brandon can interview you. And she did that thing. Oh, you're clever. Well, I'll let you know about it. And I said, nope, we're not doing that. I'm not doing that. You're going to tell me now, will you interview with Brandon or will you not interview with Brandon? And the answer was no. It was no. So, unfortunately...
You hear that, Yoko?
Yeah. So, Ro is not interviewing. And, folks, I got to say, when you've, that's a bad decision for Roe, because she thinks that the party's gonna all of a sudden start supporting her in these last 34 days, and they're not going to. They're not going to do that.
I mean, even if they did, isn't it kind of late for that?
Yeah, it's too late for that. She's went. Yeah, Ryan said, I win my election on Front Street. Absolutely. And that's the thing. That's the thing about Ryan. People can love him, people can hate him, but he's out there and he says it. I would rather someone screw up 1,000 times publicly than win in the dark anytime. Because when you're winning in the dark, my question is, what alliances are you making? What deals are you doing?
Yeah.
Well,
and I'll tell you something from my experience. Not everybody in the party, because I've met some people in the party who are fair, who are at least fair, but there are people in the party who will stab you in the back, like, "Oh yeah, you're good. We're impartial. We won't help your opponent, your primary opponent." Nah, they'll lie to your face. They don't care. So even if they tell you they support you, doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
So it's like, who cares?
Well, and as far as the party leadership goes with that, I want to tell everybody this, because everyone's like, are there any Republicans other than Andrew interviewing with you? And I want to stop this for a minute, because what's going to happen is, I want to make sure everyone's remembers. In 2019, the Republicans were all beating my door down to interview. The Democrats were not. John Zodi, the Democrat Party chair of the state of Indiana, John Zodi, was standing in some kind of get-together with several county party chairs, Democrat Party chairs, and Fred Davis was there. And Fred Davis was bashing me, was talking about me. And John Zodi gave a directive to the Democrat Party chairs, and he said, tell your candidates not to interview if asked by Kristopher Bilbrey. If Kristopher Bilbrey asks you to interview on this little podcast, do not interview with him. Now, the Republicans were beating my door down because the Democrats were in charge, and the Republicans gladly came on. Those that were good, those that were bad, those that I thought were good and turned out to be bad, those that I thought were bad and turned out to be good. And the coup there was, I even managed to spin a bunch of Democrats into still interviewing with me. Now, the Republicans are in charge. The Democrats are trying to get back in power. And the Republicans are like, nope, we're not going to interview with you. And of course, the Democrats are. You've got people out there, the trolls like Mike Jones and those people, who are saying it's not a case of the Republicans not interviewing with him. It's a case of anyone who's smart and anybody who's already elected would not give him the time of day. It's not me, folks. It's not about me. It's not about Roe interviewing with me. It's Roe's not interviewing with you guys. It's Roe not interviewing with you guys. And that's sad. That's really sad, because she's not wanting to talk to you. Dan Ridenhour or whoever, the rest of them have. Roe's already told me her answer. Now, in fairness, I will allow her to change that up until 11:59 on Tuesday. But as of now, she's already told me no. And that speaks volumes, and it should to everyone else. And going back to Brandon's point, these people are the people in power. What are they afraid of?
Mm-hmm.
What are they afraid of? Chris, no, really look at the ballot they posted. Where do they post it?
Well, I love Ro. I'm disappointed. I hope that she changes her mind. I'll interview her. I'll interview anyone who wants to interview if they're scared of you. I mean, everyone, I'm not going to say everyone. I mean, everyone has seen your previous interviews. And I mean, I think I commented last time I was on here, it's like real scary. I mean, you guys went through some basic questions. You asked people their positions. You asked where to find them, their information. That's about it. I mean, it's just an opportunity to get some information out there and get on video and talk to people. So the party doesn't like it because they personally don't like you because of things you've said about certain candidates, or more their decisions and actions than the people themselves, because you don't typically assault people directly. You assault candidates and positions and things. So I don't know. That's kind of crazy. The other thing I wanted to hit on this that Ryan said: if they don't support you publicly, then they don't support you, period. I agree with that, because I can't tell you how many people I know of that when JD was running before in the party, who would shit talk him like crazy behind his back, like, oh, we got your back, JD needs to go, he's an idiot, he's just a placeholder, et cetera, et cetera. Like, oh, well, you gonna back his opponent? Like, oh, no, I can't do that. Okay, well then shut up, I guess.
Yeah, right. What's the point? What's happening here?
Well, cool. Thank you, person who doesn't vote in this district, for your silent support. That's something, I guess. I mean,
and
then some people would try to help. They give advice and things like that, but it's like, you can make a difference if you cared, but then those people again are also scared of the party because they're part of the party.
Wait a minute. Are you talking, Andrew Pop, are you talking about their banner that says Delaware County GOP 2023 municipal candidates? Last year, okay, right here, and I'm glad you brought that up. Last year, Matt Kantz was the only Republican that defied the party and interviewed with Chris. Anyways, he got in the doghouse for that decision. Let me tell you, absolutely, he got in trouble for that.
Which is stupid.
Yeah, the party came down on Matt Kantz, and Matt Kantz told everybody, "Oh, I got in trouble for speaking to Bilbrey," and so that's what colored everybody's decision. And let me tell you, it was the decision of these people to not to can you send me a link to that, Andrew? I'm not seeing what you're talking about, bro. Send me a link to what you're talking about if you can.
Well, Joey, it's not even just the interviews. I mean, I agree with you 100%, but they don't want to debate. They don't want to they don't want to do town halls. They don't want to be caught on video. Like JD doesn't want to be caught on video ever. It's like, how many people can you reach through various channels? I mean, like Josh was going to record. He's got 17,000 viewers or wherever the hell, 18,000 viewers. Like, but no, don't put me on there. I don't want people to see it, because he knows he's full of shit.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. And people were saying like, oh, like, the interviews are harmless. And people give me a hard time about that, because I look at it as this. First of all, when I'm interviewing the candidate challengers, Andrew Pop's never voted on giving the city taking out a bond or not taking out a bond. Andrew Pop has never voted on the budget for the city of Muncie. He's never funded the deputy mayor position or not. So I can't go on blast with Andrew or over that. Now,
yeah, you don't have a history of bad decisions.
Yeah, if Andrew Pop comes out and says, I'm running and I promise everybody a new Ford in everybody's garage, I'm going to be like, yo, bro, what the hell are you talking about? That's nuts. You can't do that. If someone as a candidate is saying something wild, I'm going to be honest. I've asked Dale Bashan to interview with me, and I'm going to if he interviews with me, I'm going to give him a fair interview. I am going to ask one kind of sticky question. And so, Dale, you might as well go ahead and come on, because I'm telling you up front what the sticky question is going to be. And the sticky question is going to be, you said you wanted to be a voice and a vote for the mayor. Can you explain that? Because that's not technically the role of the council. That's going to be the tough decision. That's going to be the tough question. Okay? That's going to be my tough question to him. because that's kind of a sticking point with me. Like, I don't want to vote for you to be a voice and a vote for the mayor. I want to vote for you to be a voice and a vote for the people. You know what I mean? Are you there?
I'm here, but Kate's timing's all screwed up in the private chat. She's trying to get you to read the private chat, but it says 8:02 a.m. she's making comments. I don't know why it's so weird. Her computer time must be screwed or something. Yep, that's what she's saying.
Okay, so have we explained that thing?
Did he explain enough, Kate? She says no, you didn't. She said you suck.
Yeah, she did.
Now she's flipping you double birds. Oh, Jesus. Holy shit, Kate. Oh my God, she's pointing a gun at the camera. What's she doing with that chainsaw?
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Oh my God. He's right. Look at this. This is so sick. This to me is complete misinformation. This is disgusting. Hold on. Let me get
what Andrew Pop told you to look at?
Yes.
She's got that, JD. Ryan Webb, while you're looking that up, when I ran in 2020, I was the only Republican during the entire election that participated in candidate forums and other public events. It worked for me because I beat up. I mean, yeah, it worked for him. I've always said you can say a lot of things about Ryan Webb, but Ryan Webb is not, he's not shying away from answering people, talking to people, whatever. I mean, I'll freaking give him that all day.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, I heard JD was being kind of a douche at the Mardi Gras parade today.
But no way.
Go figure.
That doesn't surprise me.
Basically,
yes.
Well, let me see. I guess the libertarians were talking to the Dems and stuff. JD pulled up like 6 yards behind them, refused to say hi to anybody. He was kind of scowling at everyone.
That's sounds like JD all the way. I
saw the Winchester Independent News thing today with the candidate interviews. That was cool. Speaking of the same topic, where none of the incumbents would answer.
Amazing
survey.
Amazing. You know,
that was a great opportunity to be transparent. Yeah, that's an easy one. It's like in written even. It's like you can sit there and edit it. You're not going to misspeak.
Yeah, like why not just turn something in?
Yeah, give even a one-word answer or something. You're just going to like, I'm not answering that. But I'm glad they did it because the News Gazette in the past has refused to do them.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so first thing I want to show is this. Then I'm going to show what Pop sent. First and foremost, here it says Delaware County GOP 2023 municipal candidates. It's got Dan Ridenour for mayor. It's got District 1, Jeff Green. District 2, Josh Talby. District 3, Nick Talby. No relation. District 4, Brad Marshall. District 5, Kyle Temple. And I literally said his name today to a voter, and they're like, who? And I said, Kyle Temple, the former Muncie police officer. And they're like, who's Kyle Temple? Has anybody ever heard the name Kyle Temple? Anyone here?
It doesn't sound familiar to me.
What?
Now, Bowtie Basham, I know.
Yeah. So, Dale Basham, at large, Aaron Clark, at large, and Rose Selvey, at large, and Belinda Munson, cardboard box. Clerk.
Josh Talby's beard's looking good.
Who?
Josh Talby, look at that beard.
Yeah, he's like, yeah. He's always been on point with the beard. He's growing it in the dark, in the shadows. where he plans to beat she who shall not be named. Like, oh yeah, you're gonna beat her from the shadows, kid. Okay.
The Shadows of Mordor. That's what I thought of when you said From the Shadows.
I've never heard of Kyle Temple in my life. Well, I'm telling you, he's an, you know, I mean, I know who he is because he's a police officer, but you know, these people are, you know, there's some of them have been very. It's like, you know what they're doing? It's like
She's purdy.
Pretty scared to interview and speak to the citizens of Muncie.
You know who Kyle Temple was if he came on the show. You guys would all know him really well and what his positions were. He might still. I don't know.
Yeah, he's got a chance. It's like all of these candidates, all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of these candidates have all either been given the directive or they just know, hey, Ridenhour has a zero communication policy. And if we just sit tight, if we just, what did Donald Trump say? Stand down and stand by, Ridenhour can carry us to victory. Ridenhour will carry us to victory. Ridenhour will bring us to the promised land. That's like what they're doing.
Yoko, that's his third grade picture day, or school picture day yearbook picture, I think, for Aaron Clark.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. He was absent on picture day. It's like, just send us a headshot.
They did a retake. Even my picture of him is better than that. They could have got it from me. Okay, now let's look at the ballot they put up. This is, oh, thank God. This is the ballot that they've put up. Okay. And I know it's hard for you guys to see, but it goes over District 1 and it's cut off here at the top, but it says Jeff Green and it's so it says both candidates. They list the Democrat. The Republican Party on their ballot is listing Democrats.
Why?
But if they get down here to City Council District 5, and they've left Andrew Pop off. So they don't put him in this picture of their like party candidates, okay, which in my opinion is absolute bullshit. They need to put him up there because he is a Republican candidate, okay?
Yeah.
Maybe don't put him in their party literature and stuff, but he is a Republican candidate. Like him, love him, hate him, whatever. He is a Republican candidate. But, okay, I could even maybe give it to him, not putting them in their banner, okay? But for the love of God,
why not put him on that?
Putting out a ballot where they are showing the names of the Democrats and not including him on this ballot is disgusting.
It's the most childish thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That's like Mean Girl shit.
Yeah.
Okay, Andrew, here's what you do. You can have this one. You need to create your own. You can make YouTube, Facebook, whatever you want. Create a show, and it's called Poppin' Off. And you're just going to shit on the party for all the stupid shit that they're doing to you. And people are going to love it.
Hey, you can come on this channel. We'll give you your own little corner.
Oh, make it a segment. Now it's time for Poppin' Off with Andrew Pop.
Yeah.
Today
I'm popping off about the Republican Party. You could...
You know that's a good idea, Kristopher.
Yeah, it is. I'm popping off, and today we're going to be popping off about the pathetic...
Why am I not on the ballot?
Oh, here I got a message from Andrew. No, I guess So yeah, man, that's okay. Hold on. All right, hold on 1 second. Hold on.
Okay.
Hey, what did you think about my rap earlier?
It's pretty good.
All right.
Except it was I was with Kate in that you were supposed to tell us something else and instead gave us like 5 minutes of rapping. And we were like, what is happening? Like, yes. So anyway, the thing you told us to stand by for, could we please have that?
I think I told it to you.
Yes, after Kate asked for it. Kate?
Oh.
She had to fight you for it.
The Delaware County Republicans are falling apart. And
it's time for
Popping Off.
Popping Off with Andrew Buffering Pop.
Oh, what a loser. I wouldn't put him on the ballot either.
That's what's happening. He's still loading onto the ballot.
He's still loading onto the ballot.
He's just buffering.
I'm going to make half of his picture and the rest of it choppy and put it in the ballot in that thing and give them a new picture.
Oh, there you go, Stumblefoot.
Oh, there you are. What?
No,
what?
It should still be pop. You're stealing. I like the popping off, Stumblefoot. That's the only thing I've got. Popping off with special guest Web of Deception. There you go. And then they just you Pop's perceptions. Pop's perceptions are reality.
He just said, "Give me 5 minutes." What a loser!
5 minutes, and then they can just talk about their insider tradings.
He like killed me. He like killed you killed the momentum here.
Okay, so here's the other thing that I was mad about today.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I talked to you about this one per se, but I kept asking you about it. So everyone's all pissed off at Troy Ingram, this whole fire station thing, right?
Oh yeah.
They want to spend this money, and the council, of course, voted to table it for now because they had all of 8 minutes to review before spending millions and millions of taxpayer dollars. And so they tabled it. They didn't vote against it. They tabled it. And you've got all these fanatics who are all pissed off. The firemen, of course, are pissed off. I could kind of see that because, of course, they want new fire stations. And I want the firemen to have all the best things. I want them to have a nice, safe fire station. I want them to have all the safest equipment. I'm not saying they shouldn't have all these great things. I think they should 100%. But now the whole implication is that anyone who voted to table that, for some reason, hates first responders. They hate the firemen. You did the whole episode about politics of guilt. And I started thinking about it. And do you know who was endorsed by? And you know what I'm going with now. Who is endorsed by? God, now I got to find it. The Indiana. God damn it! I got to get the right word on it. The right description. Gosh darn it! Who was endorsed by Professional Firefighters Union of Indiana?
Who?
And given $1,500 last election?
I bet I know.
And he's been endorsed, I think, just about every election as J.D. Prescott. So, who was the only representative in the state of Indiana to vote against tax breaks for disabled veterans? I
bet I know.
That was also J.D. Prescott. Were they not pissed and speaking out against J.D. Prescott when he was voting to hurt our veterans who have high rates of suicide and homelessness?
Yeah. Why would the Republican Party not be speaking out against J.D. Prescott for not standing up for veterans?
So J.D. hates veterans and wants veterans to be homeless and suicidal and dead? That's what that is?
That's what I'm hearing.
I haven't heard a single one of them speak out against that. In fact, they all circle around him. They show up to his mom's stupid picnics and kiss his ass and endorse him.
Yeah. So
who was one of only two representatives in the state of Indiana to vote against testing for lead in the water in our schools?
Oh, you're going to tell me it was J.D. Prescott?
That was J.D. Prescott. Where are all those Republicans to be pissed off and say you hate our teachers and our children?
J.D. hates our killed kids?
He hates our children and our teachers, and he wants them all to get lead poisoning.
He wants them all to die?
He wants them all, apparently, because that's how it works.
Yeah.
This is someone who specifically voted against these things, not someone who voted to table them.
He didn't vote to table. He voted against them. What? And pause the bit for a second.
Oh, it's not a bit, but go ahead.
What? No, yeah, no. No, I get that. Yeah.
It's not a bit, it's a lot.
It's yeah. Oh, perfect setup. Why would JD vote against? I could listen. I don't understand it. I don't agree with it, but I can hear the words he's saying about the veteran thing, and at least I can get why his screwed up brain thinks what he's saying is right. It's not right, but I can see the points to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Why on earth would he vote against the water lead deal? What possible scenario is there that is a good idea?
Okay, so I asked him about that one.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
And he responded with?
He responded with, well, I didn't know where the funding was coming from, so I voted against it.
Couldn't you have asked?
I mean, apparently everyone else did because he was only one of two people who voted against it.
Or maybe everyone said, we got a surplus of $6 billion. I imagine we'll get it somewhere.
It's not expensive to test water for lead, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, right. Hey, just give JD a cup and send him around to all the schools.
Yeah, let him drink it. If he gets smarter, we know he got lead poisoning.
Oh, God, that's hilarious. And,
But I would have paid myself. If they told me they couldn't afford to test the water for lead, I would have paid for it for my local schools. I'll tell you that right now.
Right.
It probably would have cost less than $1,000 for all of my local schools.
I'm sure. Yeah, that's so stupid, man. It's cheap. I work for water utility construction company. See,
yeah, so it's cheap, right?
You and Joey, you guys could do it.
Yeah.
And JD can't figure it out.
But he hates children, he hates teachers, and he hates veterans, apparently. Republican Party, get him. Stand up for him. All you Dan addicts who think that people who vote against firefighters hate firefighters and they shouldn't be in office, go up against JD. Stop putting out his stupid signs.
That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. And I think Andrew finally figured out how to get himself connected to Wi-Fi. Ladies and gentlemen, are you guys watching the harassment of the lady in Oregon? No, that's not Oregon. Where is it?
Ogden?
Ogden? No, what's going on in Ogden? Is this the lady from Ogden?
I am not the lady from Ogden.
He's popping off.
What's up?
going on, guys? Hey, so I want to explain, in my opinion, what the excuses are going to be for the information that you found tonight, Chris, because there's going to be something eventually said as to why. And I just have a hunch. I have no proof behind my hunch, but I have a hunch. So here you go.
Okay.
After the incident with Troy Ingram, we all went out, a group of us, we went and had some food. And given the situation, and I don't know if you recall this, Chris, but you saw the challenges on the bottom of Troy's challenge. Somehow Chuck Leonard got brought up. It was almost like somebody had copy and pasted information from one to the other.
Yeah, no, that's exactly
not sure what happened there,
yeah.
But allegedly two separate people wrote one paper or wrote two separate incidences that turned out to be one paper.
Yes.
So I took it upon myself. I can't remember if I called the Republican Party chair and texted the vice chair or vice versa, but there was a phone call made and a text made. And I let him know, don't invite me to your stuff.
Okay.
Please don't expect me to be there.
Yeah.
I'm not paying whatever the dues are you asked about. I won't be at your Lincoln Day, even though Jim Banks is going to be there, and I actually kind of want to go now because they have a speaker that's actually worth listening to. I won't be at your golf outing. Not that I golf anyway. I won't be there. Okay. So they didn't include me in their lineup of mugshots
To which the person said, "Who was that on the phone? I don't know. Some kid named Donnie."
Oh no! So actually, I got a call back. Believe it or not, I got a call back from Jessica Piper, the vice chair.
Okay.
And it was short. She let me know she had received my my message, and I let her know that I was pretty heated. I meant everything I said, but my tone probably wasn't the best. So I apologize if I came across as rude. But everything I said was accurate. Probably could have said it a little nicer.
Okay.
So I think that's going to be their reason for leaving me. Now, as far as leaving me off of the
no. I get that. No. I get that being their reasoning behind leaving you off of party information or leaving you off of the banner, but not leaving you off the ballot.
That's just straight misinformation. That's 100% misinforming the public. But I'll also say that, in my opinion, how many people under the age of 60 go to the county party website to look at the ballot?
Well, there's only like 4 or 5 people that go to the Facebook page. So
that's what I'm saying. How many people actually go there to look at the ballot?
You mean so that they leave your name off there so they can fool themselves?
Those are the people who look at it.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that website's so up to date. Somebody, I think it was Yoko, asked about Lincoln Day. If you go on and look, you would think just offhand it's October 9th, but that's 2021's Lincoln Day. Yeah. They don't have anything up for 2023.
Yeah. Now, for the record, I've heard about this Lincoln Day fiasco, and I can tell you. So, a couple things.
Christopher's been uninvited.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna go. No, I'm not gonna go. Other plans. The Lincoln Day dinner is this coming Wednesday at 11 o'clock.
And Jim Banks is the speaker?
Jim Banks is the speaker. We'll have to talk badly about him when Andrew leaves.
Listen, I've heard Jim Banks speak like 3 or 4 times. It's always the exact same speech, so I can almost recite it.
Yeah, you wanna recite it for Andrew Pop?
He'll go, I've been stirring things up in D.C. In fact, I've caught the attention of Vladimir Putin.
Yes.
He says I'm not welcome in Russia, so I called my wife and told her we better cancel our vacation in Siberia. Pause for laughs.
Yeah, and everybody, all of his.
He didn't say that the last time I heard him speak. Wait a minute, that wasn't brought up.
Oh, you missed it.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
he says the same thing over and over and over.
Listen, I like Jim Banks. I'm sorry you guys don't. It's a shame.
God.
He's gonna be your next. He's gonna be your next senator, guys.
You don't like Rust?
Yeah, probably.
Who?
Rust?
Who?
Yeah, right.
Good question.
Yeah. That Jim Banks isn't going to allow him to be on the ballot. They're fighting. They're doing everything they can to stop him from being
whether he's on the ballot or not. It's irrelevant. It's legitimately outside of the guy's name. I have no idea who this human being is. I said who the first time sarcastically, but legitimately, I don't know who this person is.
Yeah.
Jim Banks is okay other than his sucking up to JD.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it? I would say you have that backwards.
No, because
also.
Well, yes and no. Yes and no. Yes, JD sucks up to him, but he likes the money that JD's parents give.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about his donors. I just know he's a heck of a congressman and he's gonna be a heck of a senator. But on the JD Prescott, why we're sitting here talking about people who are less than efficient at their jobs now, to be the one dissenting vote when we're talking about disabled veterans, might hit a little personal to me, given the topic.
Yeah.
Being that I'm 100% disabled.
Yeah.
You suck. I just want you to know that. From the bottom of my heart,
you know
JD Prescott.
Did you not know that?
No, I did. I did. But since I have a forum to say it, respectfully, JD, you suck.
It's great. It's wildly gross. And his reasoning for the reason he did that is so stupid. It's so asinine what he say. I mean, he's just he's so stupid.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, while I'm here, are there any more interview questions you'd like to ask since you haven't got to ask many this cycle?
You have not sold your soul to the party, right?
No.
Hey, I got a question. What do you think of popping off with Andrew?
That's a heck of a line, and that sounds perfect for like a Tuesday night.
There you go.
Yeah,
That was my question.
I will happily come on. Believe you don't have to ask Chris to know I've got a lot to say about a lot. So whatever we want to pop off about, I can be prepared for as short or as long as segment as you would like. You know, you could have barbershop Mondays, popping off Tuesdays. I mean, we could do this.
Christopher, we don't have to work anymore. We'll just
I
I
know.
What is? Hang on.
do the show.
Hang on. Audie asked the question. I see it.
Yes.
Am I allowed to answer it?
Yeah, you can answer.
What
You're
is his
forbidden.
thought? What is my thought on fire-based EMS?
Yes.
Think of us as the party. We're telling you can't answer questions.
Sure, I got it. 4 years later, I see Audie added to that. So Audie brings up a great point. And you really have to look at the full picture. The short answer is I am very thankful and I am fully supportive of where we currently are with fire-based EMS. Obviously, it's pretty well known I did not like how it was started up and how it was stood up. And I still stand by that position wholeheartedly. And I'll explain why. Chris, correct me, 2017 or 2016 was the first time fire-based EMS got brought up. It got brought to the council, and it got shot down like a bad habit. Is that about the right time frame?
16, 17-ish, somewhere around in there.
Okay. So after that, the thought was still well in place that fire-based EMS was going to be a thing. Dennis Tyler, the mayor at the time, and Chief Bell knew this is what they were going to do. So when it came time, it was their last gasp. They had no other shots left, and they were running out of time. They rolled out a program that was just haphazardly seemingly thrown together. If you knew you were going to run this out, why not send guys to get trained as EMS and paramedics? You had time. Instead, we're using Heartland, who, as I said at the time, before this contract, was taking grandma to her doctor's appointments. That's what Heartland did. And we overpaid with Heartland, and because we had two groups of stubborn individuals in executive office leadership at the county government and the city government, we put Delaware County EMS out of business essentially in the city, even though we had to use them for a little bit at the beginning, which we should have just stayed with them until fire-based EMS could really take off. We rolled out a bad program as far as being put together. Now, thankfully, to our knowledge, nobody got hurt. Everything was fine. We overpaid out the hind end, so we certainly weren't good stewards of the taxpayer dollar at the time. But fire-based EMS is as it currently sits, and it will be improving. It's a success. That's all you can say about it. It is a success. It's a win for the community. If you look at the response times that were shown and that very over-detailed presentation by GM, whatever that company's called, with Marks the other day, that had so much detail and very little filling, if you will. The response times, they show that we can get there in an effective manner and operate. So fire-based EMS is in a good shape. It's a great benefit to the city. We've got guys that are going through the paramedic programs. We've got great civilian paramedics. We have so many guys that are getting trained as EMT advanced. Guys are coming in excited, knowing that they're going to be working as EMTs and firefighters. It's really been, and I see it a little differently because I'm on the fire merit side, so I hear about it a little bit more. But it's been a great success, and it's not the morale killer that some painted it to be with the workload that they were going to get. Although the workload has been talked about, I assure you.
Absolutely.
Dude, they got to me so quick when I got in that car accident.
Yeah.
They even beat you, Kristopher, but you got there pretty quick.
Well, I tell you what, I had an incident at the house, I don't know.
February.
Yeah, February last year.
This year, February 20th.
No, it was last year. And
Don't make me tell you again.
right. The EMTs got here incredibly quick. They were fantastic. And honestly, they made the experience as bad as it was because I was having one of my migraines where I couldn't see, and They made the
Oh.
experience as peaceful as it could be.
I was getting ready to make fun of you for a minute, but I guess I won't.
No. That
That's
it's based on my military service. I have a pretty bad
Okay.
TBI that I had. So,
Well,
and
JD was getting ready to make fun of you, not me.
right, probably. He probably is making fun of me right now. Stupid disabled veteran. And to
That
think
loser.
to think I approved at some point. I approved at some point you to have a special license plate, and you get money off your registration every year, just because you're disabled. It's pitiful. So but the EMT I had, who was at the time Lieutenant Delaney, he was very professional and proficient, and I appreciated
Taking
that.
you to the hospital the whole time, and he was going, make your mark heavy and dark. The answers are A, C.
I don't know anything about that because currently everything is non-existent. So, yeah, that's where we're.
Well, good to go. I'm
Gosh
glad
darn
to
it,
hear
Chris.
that.
You had to do that, didn't you?
Oh, shit.
Oh, God.
All right. Anything else, guys?
I think that's it. I appreciate
All
it.
right. So I will be back on Tuesday for popping off with Andrew Pop.
Yeah, I'll get with you. We'll let you know about
Yep.
that. I think it's a pretty good thing. We can figure something out for you.
All right. Sounds
All right, man. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, Andrew.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Andrew Pop. I don't even know why he came on. I forget why he came on. We called him for something. See, that's what happens. That's why that one person's name we can't say, because you say their name enough and they just appear. And man, I'm telling you, for that person who was like cussing, carrying on, is still texting me. Like, I'm gonna get text one of these days. I'm gonna really have at it, and I'm gonna come on and just read through the texts that I get, because they are magnificent. It's still going. It'll just keep going and going and going and going and going and going and going.
Yeah.
So I'm still blinking, but nobody's sending any help.
You're on your own, bro.
Yeah, right.
Samurai swords are involved. You're screwed.
Right. Audie, did you just get here?
Oh, he came in kind of late.
Yeah.
He missed the whole thing.
We had some ant drama. I had some ants. I had to spray some.
Yeah, I had to spray because he had too much sugar. Oh, come on, read us one. And silent.
All right. If you are at mom and dad's for any reason, including holidays, do not speak to me. I don't want you in my life anymore. You've done too much. What? I told you to quit.
Was that Dan Ridenhour? Or?
That's not one of the candidates.
Oh, maybe it was JD. If you come to my mommy and daddy's, you better not speak to me. I'll call the police.
Don't ever speak to me again, you little man. Now, I like that. She's being really nice to me, because normally most people call me large, so I appreciate that, Teresa. Does you mean my oversized hoodie makes me look small? Thank you.
Stop texting me, you fit little bitch.
Yes. Oh, good Lord. So real quick, it's not really in the same vein of what we're talking about. Basically, what we're talking about is the bottom line is the whole losing with integrity is now the fact is if Roe wins, it's going to be like, to me, at what cost? You're not the person I thought you were. Audie, you're going to have to go back and watch this one from the beginning, buddy. And then if Roe loses, it's like, well, you lost, but you also kind of sold out too. She's going to be like the Green Day of the Muncie's political scene.
Oh, they did sell out hard, didn't they?
So yeah. So I just, man, I don't know. I'm not happy with that. So that's kind of what this thing was about. But while we were on here, someone literally texted me this. I had not seen this. This just came through.
Breaking news.
Yeah, this is like official breaking news to me. I had not seen this yet. Let me see if I can share this on the screen for everybody. This is really, really big news. Keep in mind, we are talking about the election and how this relates. Oh, hold on. I know how to get it. I'm going to have to send it to myself from...
Oh, and there's Kate with the banner. She's on it.
What banner? Oh,
breaking news.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's amazing she's on it because normally she gets the blame for all that normal drama. Okay, right here. I had to send it to myself in Messenger. Now we'll do it like this.
Yeah, we got a couple other things. I'm going to look this up actually while you're doing that because this is freaking hilarious. Hey, if I play something from the news on YouTube, are we going to get flagged?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, yeah, that's hilarious. Okay. Oh, he's got something. Uh-oh. You're not blocked from that page, are you? From that Facebook.
What?
Not termites.
Yeah, termites slow crisis center renovation as police develop social worker position.
Oh my God. I need
Termites.
to message that to me. I got to send it to my buddy who keeps trying to put term. Remember when I read that message to you like a week when last time I was on here? My buddy was saying politicians not infesting their shit with termites.
Yes.
I think it might be him.
I just sent it to you. in the group.
Okay, I gotta send
Termites have slowed renovation of former Southside Bar into mental health crisis center, but the Muncie Police Department are moving ahead with hiring a licensed social worker to help law enforcement confront mental health problems in the city. Now, those things don't have anything to do with each other, so I don't know why they're making it seem like they do. The Muncie Police Department got a grant for this. It has nothing to do with Ridenour's mental health issue, of which there are many. Ridenour said renovation work on the former Workman's Bar at 809 West 8th Street has been stalled after termites were found in an exterior wall and another wall, with the insects doing damage to some joists in the building. The discovery will lead to additional work to get the center ready to open.
And another
This
wall.
is what it still looks like, folks. This is what it looks like today. Like, this is nowhere close to being ready to open. Are you for real?
I mean, it sounds like it's in crisis. I mean, that's as crisis center as
Yeah,
it gets.
this is definitely a crisis center. I went there. I was there a week and a half ago, and I looked in these little tiny bar windows.
And dropped some termites?
I did, all around the building. Those little bastards only took hold in 2 walls.
What a waste.
Yeah. The center will now be owned by the city. The city, what is this?
So city bought a termite infested.
The discovery will lead to additional work. Plans now call for the building to be open in March of 2024. Darn it. Remember, plans called for the center to be open as late as this month. Just one more. What did Charlize call these? The mayor's plans. You know, there's a lot of what did she say? There's like a lot of plans without anything being ever wrapped up. You know, HVAC issues at the south side, termites at the crisis center. It's just like one thing after the next.
Yoko, that'd make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That'd make a ton of sense.
Yeah, absolutely. The center will be owned by the city and operated by IU Health Ball Memorial Hospital, which is supplying staff of 14 social workers to keep the center staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The cost of buying the facility for the city was $135,000, with the city also picking up the utilities for the building starting on November 2020. Ridenauer said the city had dedicated American Rescue Plan funds toward the center, and it has enough to rectify the termite damage and prepare the center for opening.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe if they hadn't rushed it, they could have done inspections and things if they gone through proper channels.
I just am so disgusted with this.
Yeah, termites are gross.
All right, so that's that. I wanted to get that news out there because that is breaking news.
Months and mites.
Ha 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 ha. So that's that. That's all I had for that.
Probably some of it. So the other thing that's interesting, it's still kind of on topic, is did you ever talk about Kevin McCarthy?
I did not really.
So for all those following the news, Kevin McCarthy got removed as the speaker, and that was bad as hell.
Yeah.
So essentially, they had made the deal with him to put him in as the Speaker of the House, saying basically that he needed to cut spending and that they would vote for him. A couple of the most extreme right-wingers, they would vote for him, but they wanted to reinstate the rule that it only required one Congress member to, what do you want to call it? Put forward a recall?
Yeah.
And he said, sure. He didn't cut spending, so Matt Gaetz is like, sure, I'll put forward a recall, because they increased spending again, and I don't know if he expected him to be removed or not, but every Democrat, of course, voted to remove him, and I think 8 of the Republicans did.
Yeah.
They said bye. So now we don't have a speaker. It's really funny though. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I really like it. It's this shit that the squad kept talking about, like, oh, well, we need to do this and this and that if we want to get concessions, and they just kind of bowed down. But it took 8 Republicans to take control again and remove the speaker. And the squad could use that power against Nancy. They didn't do it. It's kind of nice to see, refreshing.
Yeah,
my opinion. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, right. Well, it's because it's like what we're talking about. He didn't live up to what they wanted him to do, and they spoke up against him, and it's kind of nice to see that happening.
And Matt Gaetz spoke out, got booed by his own party, said we were supposed to be cutting spending, all this other stuff. Let me see if I can find some of these, because these are really good. If we can show these. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here we go. Let's see which one I want to find. I'm just going to find a random one and see if we can't watch this. When was this from?
Matt Gaetz is weird.
He is weird. He looks kind of like a movie villain.
Or kind of like Butthead.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share this. Why not? What are we doing? We're just doing a show. But I kind of like this topic while we're here.
Sure.
I also want to share audio. Thank you.
Yes, make sure you do that.
Oh, I see what you want me to do. I see why I keep not sharing audio. I got this.
Why?
I can do this. Because I'm an idiot. Because it won't let you share audio if you share a window. You have to share a tab. And I keep opening it in separate windows. So it won't let me share it. But that's okay. I think I can do this now.
My friend from Oklahoma says that my colleagues and I who don't support Kevin McCarthy would plunge the House and the country into chaos.
Who would be cool to see Jim Jordan?
Chaos is Speaker McCarthy. Chaos is somebody who we cannot trust with their word. The one thing that the White House, House Democrats, and many of us on the conservative side of the Republican caucus would argue is that the thing we have in common, Kevin McCarthy said something to all of us at one point or another that he didn't really mean and never intended to live up to. I don't think voting against Kevin McCarthy is chaos. I think $33 trillion in debt is chaos. I think that facing a $2.2 trillion annual deficit is chaos. I think that not passing single subject spending bills is chaos. I think the fact that we have been governed.
Oh, that was a big thing he pushed, which I love.
Yeah.
They always put all that shit together. They put like Ukraine spending with border defense and all this other shit, so they can say, "Oh, you're voting against Ukraine spending because you don't want to protect our border because they're tied together." And he's like, "No, we need to separate those. We need to vote for border defense. We need to vote on that. We need to vote on Ukraine. We need to vote on this and that." And they wouldn't allow it. So that's kind of pissing them off. And I agree with that 1,000%. I don't know who disagrees with that, but maybe somebody does.
Governed in this country since the mid-90s by continuing resolution and omnibus is chaos. And the way to liberate ourselves from that is a series of reforms to this body that I would hope would outlast Speaker McCarthy's time here, would outlast my time here, and would outlast either of our majorities. Reforms that I have heard some of the most conservative members of this body fight for, and some of the reforms that we've been battling for that I've even heard those in the Democrat caucus say would be worthy and helpful to the House, like open amendments, like understanding what the budget is. We have been out of compliance with budget laws for most of my life, most of many of your lives. And by the way, if we did those things, if we had single subject bills, if we had an understanding on the top line, if we had open amendments, if we had trust and honesty and understanding, there would be times when my conservative colleagues and I would lose, might be a few times when we'd win. There'd be times that we would form partnerships that might otherwise not be really predictable in the American body politic, but the American people would see us legislating. These last few days, we've suspended the momentum that we had established the week earlier, where we were bringing bills to the floor, voting on them, staying late at night, working hard. That's what the American people expect. It's something Speaker McCarthy hasn't delivered, and that's why I've moved to vacate the chair. I reserve.
Gentleman's time is reserved. Gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. Cole.
Thank you very much.
Dude, like you're saying, I'm not a huge Matt Gaetz fan, but that, I agree with a lot of that.
Yeah.
What he just said.
Right.
They haven't had an actual budget for, I don't know how long it's been, but they need to be doing a budget. They need to, the single issue bills would be amazing. I think it's pretty legit. I mean, like I said, I'm not a huge Gaetz fan, but
yeah, he's definitely a weirdo, but I wasn't a McCarthy fan.
Yeah, I'm not a McCarthy fan either. I don't know where this goes.
Much, Mr. Speaker. I yield 2 minutes to my very good friend, Mr. Emmer from Minnesota.
Gentleman from Minnesota, Mr. Emmer, is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Nah, I don't need to hear this guy. But the point is, yeah, screw that guy. Point is, that's pretty interesting. I don't know if you've seen that or if you have any thoughts on that. But.
No, I mean, it's just interesting to me. That kind of goes back to the whole point of, being able to point out your failures and your team's failures when it's not going the way that you wanted it to go. And that's been the whole kind of, the overarching theme of this episode is, just doing the right thing and being able to do the right thing and having that integrity. And if, I just like the wording lose with integrity. And it's just, in my opinion, if you can't even lose with integrity, you weren't going to win with integrity.
Yeah. And that was the whole point. I think somewhere in my rant, I said something basically like that is it's like, you know what, you need to do what you want to do. You don't work for the party, you work for the people. And if pissing off the party causes you to lose because you want to do what your conscience and what your constituents say, then so be it. You lost with integrity. And I think losing with integrity is better than winning without, I guess was the whole point.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. I got one more thing that's kind of fun. If you want me to share it. And maybe it's not fun. It's actually terrible, and I think it's horrible. But I got to get this set up real quick. So you're also aware that Senator Feinstein passed recently?
Yes. Did
you see this guy from the ammunition company?
Oh, yes. Play that.
Oh, yes, play it.
Yeah.
This is insane. Oh my gosh. It is pretty insane. Ah, shoot.
This is a news segment, folks. It's not us. It's just a news segment.
His face on a bag of ammunition to sell the same day they die.
I don't know if
along
anyone's
with
seen
a
this.
message that'll make you do a double take.
At our busiest during the pandemic, we made about 14, 15 million rounds that year.
The ammunition business, it's still booming.
We have a low recoil 9mm round that's great for competitive shooting.
Justin Nazaroff and his brother own Phoenix Ammunition in Novi. Friday morning, Justin woke up pumped up after a Lions win.
So already a great start to the morning, and then we hear that Senator Dianne Feinstein passed away.
Out of death, birthed an idea.
So it says, R.I.P. Dianne Feinstein, laugh out loud, bye.
Bye, bitch.
Politicians in this way, it's kind of his thing, especially politicians who support gun control, like the late Senator Dianne Feinstein out of California has for decades.
I think it's exactly what she deserves. I think politicians deserve to be mocked and ridiculed as much in death as in life.
Then there was this post to the ammo company's 117,000 followers on X, formerly Twitter. It says, to celebrate the death of Senator Feinstein, they're offering free shipping on ammunition to California.
Dianne Feinstein couldn't care less about me, so I couldn't care less about Dianne Feinstein.
Apparently in California, you can't ship bullets directly to your home. Has to go to a gun store, and then you have to pass a background check.
We decided to offer free shipping, and hopefully that will energize them and get them into the polls, ideally. I mean, it's California, so she'll probably be replaced by somebody even worse, let's be honest.
Justin, by the way, is a libertarian. He says with a lowercase L. We asked
There
him
you go,
what he'd
Kate.
say to Feinstein's family, who'd likely be appalled by his commentary.
If they were really her friends or really looking out for her as her family members, they would have told her to retire 10 years ago and enjoy the final years of her life out on the beach someplace.
At last check Friday night, Phoenix Ammunition's post about Feinstein on X had almost 10,000 likes and counting. Jessica Dupnack on The Edge.
How crazy is
And
that?
There you go. I mean, I'm sure he sold out.
I'm sure he did. That is crazy. That dude had... He was growing the same fields that Kate was. They were barren. He had no fucks to give.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my gosh. I guess the point of that one being, again, okay, maybe shouldn't mock someone who just died, but to his point of like, she probably should have retired a while ago, but these politicians don't want to give up power. It's like, just, enjoy your time, I guess.
Yeah, right.
But maybe not mock someone like the day they died, I guess. I don't know. Too soon. To answer Yoko's question before, too soon. That one's definitely seems a little too soon to me, but interesting story still.
It is what it is, nonetheless.
It is
It takes all kinds.
what it is. I bet he sold so much ammunition.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he did.
He's probably killing it.
All right.
And on that note, we'll leave on that positive note.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know what to do. Hit the like. If you haven't hit the like on this video, hit the like. Maybe call your aunts and uncles, nieces and nephews. Let them know they're loved.
Especially your aunts.
Especially your aunts. You guys have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. We'll see you back here at 9 p.m. tomorrow. We've got a busy week ahead of us, and we will get her done. You guys have a great rest of the evening, and I will see you. Brandon will see you all again soon. Goodbye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye. Old dead hand.